session.
य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्विमाणः निर्विमाणः तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्मा तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनाद्यपि कश्चन एतद्वैता 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 एतद्वैता.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tuba Moomin, a proud volunteer at WISC Vikasa, and I extend a warm welcome to each one of you to this SAMVAAD curriculum session, a thoughtful space crafted to open conversation, meaningful insights, and domain-specific guidance that truly matters to us as aspiring chartered accountants. This seminar is an initiative of Vikasa, WIRC of ICAI, designed to help students gain practical clarity and direction in their articleship and beyond. Yesterday, we explored the world of audit, not merely just as a subject, but as a lens through which CAs view the business world. It was an eye-opening session that offered us relatable insights into the audit domain during articleship. Today, we continue our journey into two other significant arenas. First is capital market compliance, and second is taxation, that not only define the core of CA practice, but also shape our understanding of how financial systems functions. Whether it's navigating regulatory frameworks or structuring tax-efficient strategies, these areas demand both precision and perspective. And that's exactly what we aim to uncover in this evening session. To give us a practical and real-world understanding of these domains, we have with us two CA finalists who are currently undergoing their articleship in two very different firms and environments. One from a mid-sized firm and second from a big firm. They will share their stories, challenges, learning curves, and everyday experiences. Together, their journey offers diverse views, yet are connected by one goal, to help us understand that what articleship journey truly entails and how it contributes to our growth as a young professionals. Adding more weight and wisdom to this discussion, we also have with us a dynamic mentor, CA Taruna Vaishnav ma'am, whose expertise will help us tie these threads together with clarity and direction. But before we dive into the session, I would like to invite someone who has been a driving force behind this initiative, our WISC Vikasa Chairman, CA Jitendra Saglani, sir, to officially begin today's program with his welcome address.
So thank you so much, Tuba, Chairman of WRC in absentia, because he's attending a meeting, and I think he will be joining of late. CA Ketan Sayya, sir. The two student speakers, Disha Gujrani and Khushi Gupta, and the CA mentor who will be joining shortly, CA Taruna, and Team Vikasa. I see here Karishma and the WOW volunteers, that is Wings of Vikasa, wherein I see Dhairya has joined. Even Tuba is a WOW volunteer for us, and all my dear students. A warm welcome to everyone in this second session of domain guidance. And today, as Tuba rightly mentioned, that this is a very key session, very instrumental one, while you select the right domain as well as the right firm, the right size of firm, which is again very important. But let me tell you, friends, very candid kind of statement from my side, that I still remember when I joined my articleship. So I also was inquiring and understanding that how should I choose a firm, what firm I should be, say, taking my articleship from. And then I realized that, yes, this is very important because you create a bond with your principal, who is your boss, and that bond stays with you for the lifetime, because that principal who actually mentors you you become a chartered So I'm sorry I got disconnected because of some call. But yes, friends, I was talking about my articleship when I started, and I still remember that those were the days when we got a less guidance on all these factors. And today we have this platform Vikasa, wherein we try to handle all the students of how to choose their articleship. So this is a wonderful platform, wonderful say theme of Samvad Gurukulam, and this is scouted by Team Vikasa. So I'm very proud to say that my students of Vikasa, the MCMs of Vikasa, have thought of and have curated this particular session and also talk with the student speakers to come down and spare their time and join here and tell all the students who wish to get undergo articleship what is that lies in articleship. So thanks once again to all the three speakers today. And I think we can have more such sessions based on the feedback from the participants. And in case you have some other other than critical feedback on the type of topics that you want to have, please let us know so that we can start thinking on that and plan such kind of programs for you all. So Vikasa again is of the students, by the students, and for the students, and looking forward for to a meaningful interaction with everyone. And with this, very happy learning to everyone. Thank you so much. Over to you, Tuba.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for setting the tone for today and for your encouraging words. To walk us through the journeys of our panelists, I now invite Dhairya to introduce our mentor and the two speakers for the evening.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. You can continue, please.
So, good evening, everyone. Starting with CA Taruna Vaishnav ma'am. CA Taruna ma'am is a young and dynamic chartered accountant currently associated with Hindustan Unilever Limited, where she plays a pivotal role in finance business partnering for e-commerce, beauty, and quick commerce segments. A school and college topper, ma'am is a proud graduate of Sydenham College of Commerce and Economics, Mumbai, and has consistently demonstrated academic and professional excellence. Her journey includes experience in auditing, indirect taxation, and financial operations through her stint at Trent Tata and industrial training at HUL. Beyond her professional achievements, ma'am is a vibrant individual with a deep passion for dance, singing, and chess, and has received multiple accolades, including Malicious Student, Garba Queen, and winner at CA Talent Search by ICAI. She has also served as a committee member of WIRC Vikasa from 2020 to 2021, actively leading events like Youth Fest, webinars, and conferences. Honored with appreciation for Star Woman Award by WIRC of ICAI. Ma'am continues to inspire as a mentor, judge, and a leader, having judged competitions for extempore, best presentation PPT, and think and sneak. Welcome, ma'am. Following with Miss Disha Gujrani. Disha Gujrani is a sharp and driven article trainee at BSR and Company LLP, an affiliate of KPMG India, currently working in banking, finance, financial services, and insurance, that is BFSI taxation domain. Since September 2024, she has gained hands-on experience in analyzing the Finance Act 2024 and Finance Bill 2025 support. She has worked on over 80 plus regulatory updates from SEBI, RBI, CBDT, IFSCA, and more, offering clients guidance on compliance, tax positions, and reporting. Her experience spans internal tax discussions, routine litigation matters, and advising on cross-border investment regulations under FAMA and SEBI. Disha has also contributed to strategic tax structuring and supported India's largest asset manager in complex reporting and tax compliances. With a strong grasp on taxation and regulatory frameworks, she brings clarity and precision to every assignment she undertakes. Apart from work, she loves reading and dancing. She composes poetry, sometimes completely an extrovert who loves meeting people, and also have been a part of many KPMG CSR activities. And last but surely not the least, Miss Khushi Gupta. Khushi Gupta, she is in core team lead at Sanjay Shah and Company LLP with more than a year's experience in regulatory compliance, audits, and operations for SEBI registered intermediaries. She currently leads a team of 7 to 8 trainees and works closely with the managing partner on strategic and client initiatives. Key highlights includes her audits for PMS for asset under management, category 3 AIFs, and pan India SEBI audits. Also, managing SEBI and exchange registrations and acting as the main regulatory liaison. She has also been a speaker at national and state level conferences in the years 2024 and 2025. We welcome you all three gems and we are here to learn from you. That's all from my end.
Thank you so much, Terya, for that warm and articulate introduction. As you can already tell, we have a wonderful, diverse, and insightful panel today. Here's how the session will unfold today. Each speaker will share their articleship journey about 15 minutes each, including the Q&A sessions. Then our mentor will step in to reflect, elaborate, and share her expert advice. So let's begin. First up, we have Khushi Gupta, someone who has carved her path with both academic excellence and real-world adaptability. Khushi, can you walk us through your journey? How did your articleship begin? What made you choose your current firm and this particular domain? Over to you, Khushi.
Good evening, everybody. I hope I'm clearly audible. Please confirm.
Yes, Kriti, you are very much audible. Please.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me here. And secondly, congratulations to everyone for you've cleared the second path or race. You're close to the finishing line now. I know the journey might have not been easy, and to be really honest, it's not going to be easy further also. The Vikasa team is trying to make it a little easy by having us sharing our experiences to you all. So yeah, I won't be standing here as a guidance to you all, but sharing my own experience. I hope you'll have some learning from it. Can I please share my screen because I've prepared a little presentation? If you don't mind.
Yes, sure.
Is my screen visible to you?
Yes.
So, just giving you a brief about the session, I will first start with the backstage story because I really believe that it is very much easy to stand in front of you all and tell you who I am today. But I guess the actual learning begins from the backstage story. Then I will explain you a little about my domain, what exactly I am working in, and then we can have a conversation session. Okay? So, I don't know, starting off with uh, my journey exactly 1 year from today. I still remember it was 12th or 11th of July when my results were out, and I see pass and pass on my screen. I remember in that next 15 minutes, I made 50 call. I was so excited. And at the end of the 15 minutes, the realization hit it, where I'd be like, now what's next? It is a little difficult for people who belong from a non-CA background. So for me, it was as tough as for people who belong from a non-CA background, having no connections, no contact. I was not even aware about such Vikasa events that are now being held for you all. So sorry. I ended up entering into Telegram channels, Instagram pages, and WhatsApp groups to understand which firm do I choose or what exactly do I want to do. I remember jotting down 10 to 15 random firms' name and preparing my CV. and I sent my random CV to those 10 to 15 firms. One first day I got no reply. Second day I got no reply from any firm. It was the third day where I got calls from three firms, which was a mid-size firm, and two were small-size firm. I traveled to Andheri for my interview. I stepped into this mid-sized firm, which was very fascinating and exciting. Everybody was in formals, sitting on their desk, not even turning back to see who is coming for the interview. And I entered the interview hall. I gave my interview. It was all good, like any other interview goes, until she asked me that question: Do you want to go for internal, or do you want to go for audit or taxation? I prepared everything for my interview, but this question that I wanted to go for audit or taxation. I was blank when she asked me that question if I wanted to go for audit or taxation. At that moment, I did not know what to answer, and I just told her, if you could spare me a day or two, I'll get back to you on this question. She, being very generous, wrote her number on my CV and told me, you can get back whenever you're confirmed with what you want to do. I left that room with thinking, what could have gone in that first interview? What was worse that could go, did that day. While I walked to my second interview, which was again in Andheri, which was a small size firm, I had answer to this question if I wanted to go for audit or taxation. This time I was sure that I wanted all over exposure. So next time if I'm entering an interview and giving my introduction, I knew I have to end my introduction by saying, "Sir, I'm looking for a firm with overall exposure." I enter this room of small size firm and I see a bunch of people rushing around. Some are informal, some are not informal. I go to the interview while I start my introduction. And this time I end my introduction by telling him that I was looking for an overall exposure. He smiles to me and says, yes, we do provide an overall exposure. I got settled. I was like, wow, we got what we wanted. He asked me one question, a random question saying, okay, tell me sales entry. It's not that I did not know sales entry, but with all the confidence, I said cash, cash bank, sales to cash bank, sales debit to cash bank credit. He gave me a big smile, and I knew I messed it up. It was not that I did not knew the answer, but it was under the panic that I couldn't give the right answer. Again, I stepped out of the room thinking what could have gone wrong. But I was not sure if I wanted to join that firm or not. I come back home because my third interview was online. While I come back home, I was only with the question that what to do next. Should I go for audit? Should I go for taxation? Should I go for overall exposure? Now, instead of asking these questions, I started questioning myself. What was my interest? What did I wanted to learn? What fascinated me? After becoming CA, where do I see myself? Or down the years, 5 lines, where do I want to be at? After questioning these questions to myself, I fairly had an answer that I am not that great at numbers. So maybe number was not my ball game. And for me, it was very clear that corporate was not my cup of tea. So down maybe hour and near an hour, I would have to join corporate. But down to the 5 years, I don't see myself into corporate. So it was very clear that now I cannot go for big four or a mid-size. I wanted to join a small size firm because I understand that you are closely connected to the working environment, to the client in a small size firm. So by the time I reached home and I started giving this interview, which was online, I had an interview with that sir who introduced me to capital market. It was a very fascinating field to know about. I was not aware about what is capital market, what is SEBI, what is market based wealth based market. He explained it to me, and it was purely into internal audit. Me who wanted overall exposure just maybe in half an hour before, now I was settled. Okay, we will enter into internal audit. The interview lasted for an hour. And by the end of that hour, I was so sure that I wanted to join. I told him I am coming from tomorrow. I still told him that I will work with you for a week. I will settle, I will understand the working environment, and then get myself registered. So, this was a little brief about how I entered to where I am today. It is not some big name or fascinating field. It was that I felt it was right for me. After questioning myself, after making mistakes, after going to maybe I just hardly went to interviews, but I understood where I was lacking, what I really wanted. So, a little uh, learning from this would be that it is okay to not know everything. It is okay to not it is okay if everything is not going according to your plan. I believe you have to start to end up somewhere. So before you get a clarity of action, you have to figure it out. And I think growth will never come in your comfort zone. You have to get out of your comfort zone if you want to grow in life. Second is, mistake is not a failure, they are a lesson of your life. So it's okay to make mistakes, because that's when you're going to learn about it. And third, lastly, the best choice isn't always the fascinating one. It is the one that you feel right with. So the little learning that I got from my hunt of interview and my hunt of articleship. Moving to the next part of the session is where I brief you about the small size firm, mid size firm, and the big four. I really don't have that much knowledge about the mid size firm and the big four, but still try to concise it. Small size firm is basically where you'll get full exposure, end to end client dealing, learning from scratch, handling everything from your own. And mid firm is where you will have a balance of both name of a company and of a work. But Big Four is purely a brand name which you will have in your CV. It will shape you as a profession. It will give you a specialized path and excel you in your culture or learning that you are having. Of course, both comes with pros and cons. Now introducing you to where I am today. It's been 1 year I have been in this domain of capital market, industrial training, internal audit. I have closely worked with all the entities and entities like stockbroker, PMS, AIF, merchant bankers, uh, research analyst, investment advisors. We look after the regulatory compliances, internal audits. We do consulting to all these SEBI registered intermediaries. I've also been part of national and state level conferences, and that's the learning that I have till today. Giving you a little idea about what capital market domain that I'm working in right now is that we work into regulatory compliances. We work with regulatory compliances, regulators like SEBI, NSE, BSE, CDSL, NSDL. We have these capital players like portfolio managers, AIF, that is alternate investment funds, investment advisors, research analysts, merchant bankers. We do internal audit and end-to-end compliances of these market players. We give them a regulatory consulting. We also do risk analysts and help them improve in their risk-based process. We have the base of my wealth-based market was built up here in these years. And that is all from my side.
Thank you, Khushi, for that honest and structured glimpse of your journey. So now, students, we are open for the questions. So if you have any questions, please put up in the chat Q&A sessions. And in the meantime, like we have already few questions from the students. So we'll proceed with that. So Khushi, do you feel that you have a better work-life balance in small firms than big firms?
See, I assume work-life balance. Balance doesn't mean less work. It just means how you're handling your work, your studies. It's all about the mindset. If you think that no, मुझे पढ़ाई ही करनी है, मेरा तो काम नहीं हो रहा, it's not like that. There were some days where I have worked 9 to 12. There were some days also where I have worked 9 to 2 only. So I mean, for me, I know how to balance it. But if you think balance means less work, I mean, then that term is wrong. But if you ask me honestly, yes, I am balancing my work life and my study life, I mean, nicely.
Thank you for answering that. And we have one question in our Q&A. Do we have outstation audits in internal audit?
Yes. So
Sambana.
internal audit. Yes, we do have outstation audit like AP audit. So AP is in a stockbroker domain. We have authorized personnel and we go for audits. So we do go outstations for those audits.
Next question is, do you feel you get end-to-end exposure on assignments in your firm?
Yes. End-to-end exposure.
Compared to Big Fours
I
and-
believe No, I do. So for me, it was not even a small firm. It was like a startup. You can say it was newly set up. It had hardly been a year, a month or two when I joined it. I was the first, you can say, article or employee to this firm. So for me, it has been end-to-end experience. And I also assume that in a small firm, you do get end-to-end experience because the hierarchy is very small. You don't have too many people above you. You do have to go to the client, talk to him yourself. So I believe that you do get end-to-end exposure when you're in a small or a mid-sized firm.
Can you describe what capital market consulting work actually includes?
Capital market, uh, it's also been a year. I am not that well off aware about this domain, but so we have different entities, okay, registered with SEBI. Like I mentioned, portfolio managers, AIF, merchant bankers, investment advisors, research analysts. We do and handle the compliance regulation part. So we are well aware of the base of these entities. Please, your question was.
Like capital market consulting field includes actually what? What things are included in that capital market consulting field?
So, like I told you, all these entities that form a part of capital market, you
Yeah.
have to, yeah, and then the regulators like SEBI, NSE, BSE, CDSL, NSDL, you deal with
Yes.
their compliances. And then consultancy obviously involves, like, if there is some non-compliance or risk analyst that you find in their managing a process, you help them out, you consult them how to deal with as per the regulatory requirements.
Thank you. How did you prepare for your articleship interviews? Like, is there some formula or you just like went with the knowledge of the city?
Okay, how did I prepare? No, it was all confidence. I believe even if you lack a little knowledge, you should always carry your confidence, like I am doing right now. So never lack confidence.
Yes.
I mean, it will take you somewhere, even if you don't have a pure knowledge about that domain. If you're confident enough to sit there and speak, you're best to go. That's it. I did not
Yes.
have a really good preparation for my articleship,
Okay.
but I
Like,
had a very good confidence.
yeah, that seems so, and that's really great. One question someone mentioned is, do you think having a mentor during articleship makes any difference in a student's life?
I believe it does. And it is really impactful to have a mentor with you who's been through the battlefield that you are going to enter. And I'm very glad Vikasa is taking initiative to do that. I also request you all to, keep commenting on Telegram or Instagram wherever possible so that Vikasa team is, enthusiasm to bring up such initiatives because it's really appreciating what you are doing. So yeah, it does make a lot of difference to have a mentor who's been through that.
Thank you so much, Kushi. Do we have any more questions for Kushi? Or we can move ahead, I guess. Thank
If
you
you
so
have
much,
any
Kushi.
question, you can ping me on LinkedIn. I'll be there available. If you want to know anything about capital market or this domain, feel free to contact me.
Sure, sure.
Or feel
It's so
free to contact
inspiring.
the CASA team.
Yes. It's so inspiring to genuinely see such strong fundamentals translate into professional confidence. Yeah, it exactly seems in you actually. So
I am
thank you so
learning
much.
like everybody here. I am also learning. Thank you
Yes,
so
yes,
much.
definitely. Thank you so much for such insightful views on your articleship journey. Now moving ahead, next we have Disha Gujrani. Welcome, Disha. And All India ranker AIR 26, currently pursuing her articleship with KPMG in direct taxation. So, Disha, could you walk us through your day in your life at KPMG? What does working in taxation look like from your lens, and what kinds of clients or challenges has given you the steepest learning curve so far?
Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. It really feels great to be a part of this, an initiative which I think if it would have been at the time I was applying for articleship, it would have helped a lot. So yes, kudos to the Vikasa team for arranging this session, and congratulations to our audience for clearing intermediate. It's like you've cleared half, you're halfway through, and also the journey ahead is also very difficult. Balancing your work, studies, social life, it will take a toll. So yes, I'm pursuing my articleship in banking, financial services, and insurance taxation. And just to give you a brief idea about what work a tax trainee in a Big Four does, so there are mainly three categories in taxation in which you get to work. That is compliance, advisory, and litigation. So under litigation, it is like you draft responses to notices that the client gets, or you prepare submissions for ITAT, CIT. Sometimes, if you're lucky enough and your director has good clients, you get to work on high court assignments too. Under litigation, yes, of course, you get to learn, you read through the bare act, so you get a grip over the act and you understand how it applies practically, because on paper, the act and the act in real life are two very different things. In That is about the litigation part. About compliances, you sometimes have to file tax audit reports, the ITRs, the TDS returns, forms, certain forms which are required pertaining to certain sections, compliance with certain sections of the act. And under advisory is like very creamy part of taxation. Articles do not get to work completely on that, but you'll be involved in the most basic research work, which is, it's a great thing to learn from, because when there are high pressing advisory clients, you directly deal with your partners, because these assignments are majorly very much time bound. So you have to work under a lot of pressure. You get to work with your, the heads of your client, your partners, and getting to work with a partner in a Big Four is a big deal. Like, if you get to work, you can flex it among the other industrial articles there. So these are the major types of work a trainee gets to do. And then coming to my part, so I was majorly, what happens in Big Four is like you get to do work according to the client base that your team has. So it's very difficult that you'll get to do all litigation, compliance, advisory. But luckily, I was a part of a team which did all of these assignments in the past 10 and a half months since I was here. So I got to learn a lot. But it's not always the same. I was lucky enough to be plotted in this team. Sometimes in some teams it might happen that you do not get to work a lot, but I'll be honest, it also depends on you, because if you're enthusiastic and you take initiative, starting say ekdam, so they involve you in all types of assignments, and majorly there's a resource crunch in Big Fours. So I was the only article in my team, and we had one manager, two AMs, one AD, one director, one senior. So I had to work with everybody. So since this is the age when you get to learn, and also you're allowed to make, you're not supposed to make, but you're allowed to make mistakes. So I think in that sense, it's a very on the learning front, a very good opportunity to work in a Big Four. Also, the benefit it gives you, the brand tag, because I had this thing when I was preparing for my articleship, that I want to go into fields like equity research or maybe consulting or private equity. And then when I spoke to my seniors who are working in these fields as an industrial trainee or an employee, so they told me that since you're already a ranker, if you have the Big Four tag, it will be easy to get through to these domains. So if you are aiming that you have to go to these niche, creamy lines, so I would definitely suggest to opt for a Big Four, because entities in the like of BCG, Motilal Oswal, they prefer candidates who have been a part of huge Big Fours or Big Sixes. It also depends on your work ex, but yes, this gives you an edge over the others.
Thank you so much, Tisha. Uh, so can you tell us about your articleship starting journey? Like, how did you manage to go to KPMG? What preparations did you make in the start?
So about, I don't know about the other Big Fours, but in KPMG, once your results roll out, they roll out a form for assessment, and you have to if you if the everyone in the anyone in the audience wants it, I'll share the link for the test for this attempt also. So you have to attempt that test, and once it's not very technical, it's a behavioral test as to how you'll act in certain situations. Then after you attempt that, within 2 to 4 working days, you get a reward from the HR. They schedule your rounds. And since I had preferred taxation from the beginning while attempting the test itself, so my interviews were scheduled in tax only. And they don't ask you something very high under rocket science. They ask you basic tax provisions of your income tax, but they do check you on your behavioral aspect as to how you speak. Are you confident enough? Because this is an environment where you're supposed to be very professional, up to the mark. You can't flicker anywhere, because they put you in front of high value clients, and then they cannot risk their reputation. So behaviorally, yes, you have to, as Koshi rightly mentioned, you have to be very confident. Even if you don't know things, be confident. That will help you more than knowing everything and not being confident. And yes, be very much even during, okay, fine, for the interview, that was the part. But after you join also, take up initiative. Don't be like, Arey yaar, if I'll take up initiative, they'll give me more work. I think this is the right age. You need to get to learn. So take up initiative, even if it costs you some study time, some of your personal time, it's okay. But the learning exposure you'll get right now is, I think, you're allowed to make mistakes, so you can do thousand blunt. I mean, that's what my case was. I make 10 mistakes every day, but then you get to learn from people who are, so much experienced, that you get to, it's like they've lived that life. So you get to learn a lot of years ka experience in your 10-12 months of training, which is great, I think.
Like, how intense is the work culture in your big?
So Big Four work culture, it's like long saga. But I think in taxation, it's not as hectic as the audit people. They need to work very much late night. I work late nights till 11, 12. But for me, it was in the months of October, November, and you're in May, June, and somewhere mid-July. But it's not always the same. Also, it's not time specific. Many times, if you're into compliance, yes, it's time specific that you'll have to work during the return season or the TDS season. But if you're plotted in a team which works in advisory and litigation assignments, it is basis your client situation. So अगर client को notice आया है, you'll have to sit and make replies. You'll have to get it reviewed. Then sometimes might happen, it will be reviewed at 10 p.m. at night. Then you'll have to sit till 12 and do it again. But yes, it is intense sometimes, but many a times it's also very lenient. You get to, we log in at 11, that's for sure. But normally I get free by 8, 8:30. Sometimes during few months of the year, it is around 9:30, 10. And during very high pressing deadlines, it's 11, 11:30. Not more than that.
Thank you. I request every attendee to put their questions in the Q&A. Meanwhile, I have few more questions for you, Disha. Is the work environment more personal and flexible compared to compared to mid-sized firms or small firms?
Regarding the flexibility, yes, you get a hybrid culture of working from home and working from office. It depends on the team also, but majorly most of the tax teams, they work from home easily for 2 or 3 days a week. And the personal touch, yes, it depends on you actually, because if you are very much professional with your team, then it's a bit difficult. You have to be thoda masti kar. And since you're the article of the team, now you can be the, like in my team, I'm the CFO. It's like the chief fun officer. So you are supposed to ensure that the team is, not very stressed. If it's a very high pressing deadline, you crack jokes, you get them for a break, you'll ask them to chalo ek walk leke aate hai. And you're a kid, na, so they won't even question you much. When an employee does that, it's questionable. So it's on you. So basically, try to, because this is the age, you can network with people, you can connect, like the Vikasa team helps us. So this is the age, you get to, I would suggest, try to be friendly with your team. They'll be great with you. Otherwise, you will also have to suffer sometimes if you are not. And you get access to few of the best minds if you are in I'm not saying, I mean, I don't mean to demean, but there are a lot of such professionals who have worked in the same domain for years. So, they have expertise about that field, like 20, they have experience in the same field for more than our age. So if you're friendly enough and you take up initiative, you chit chat with them other than work, I think it depends on you. Then otherwise it won't be an issue that there's no personal touch or you feel empty inside. But it's not the same with every team. Some teams are honestly toxic, but then it totally depends on your luck then which team you are getting plotted in.
So Next question would be like, if you are into taxation, so have you worked in both direct taxation as well as indirect taxation, or is there a specific field?
So in Big Four, it is like you will get to work only in one of the two. So I am in direct taxation, and
Sorry.
uh,
Next
yeah.
question. Someone asked from the Q&A, I have given the test and filled the form and it's been 7 days and I haven't received a reply. So how about the timeline and the procedure of selection process?
In that case, there's two of our HRs who are actually posted on LinkedIn. You can reach out to them in their chats. In fact, you can also forward your CV to me. I'll put my email ID, KPMG email ID here. I'll also refer it again, and I think they will reach out to you in few days if they are thinking of shortlisting you. But follow up with HR on LinkedIn, trouble them a bit. Then they, because I have seen this, I had friends who did not get a call for 10-15 days after writing the test. They used to trouble the HR every 2 days, and somehow two of them got an interview scheduled by doing that. So you can try that. Somewhere you can tweak.
Thank you. Next, someone has asked, if you have not cleared the assessment test, do they send an email of rejection or not?
No, they do not. Unfortunately, they don't.
Okay, thank you. Disha, I wanted to ask you, like, how has the brand of KPMG helped you personally and professionally so far?
So professionally speaking, I wanted, since I mentioned earlier, I wanted to go into other domains. So I was applying for industrial training. So, the likes of companies like BCG, Motilal Oswal, as I mentioned, Aditya Birla, they prefer a Big Four candidate, or they have three buckets basically. You get a rank or a very good work experience in a very good firm, or you have excellent co-curriculars. So I was shortlisted by most of these firms that I mentioned, and Big Four was somewhere a tick in their checklist that this candidate is also from a Big Four. So you do get an edge while you're applying for industrial training. Also, post qualification, if you're going for employment jobs, I think yes, you do get an edge because they feel that you have been curated in a professional environment, so they won't have to work much on you to prepare you behaviorally. You get that professional touch starting, so because you've been brought up in that environment. So it helps.
Thank you.
If you're thinking of going into jobs aage, I think a Big Four tag does help. It has helped me for industrial training, and I think it will help you too.
Thank I guess we have got up with with every question. Moving ahead, if are there any more questions from the attendees? One last question for you, Disha. I would ask, which I had asked Kushi also. Like, do you feel having a mentor in your CA journey is very important?
In your only the articleship part or the CA journey in its entirety?
Like entire CA journey.
Yes,
Say
I
you're
think
picking
it
up
is.
some important decisions or something like that.
So a guiding light is important on every part that you take, is what I believe. Because आप कितने बार same ही गलतियां करोगे ना? Some people have already made those mistakes. At least you don't repeat those. So you make new mistakes. You do make, of course you will. So, but you have a guiding light. So you have some clarity on that path by a person who's already experienced. So it helps you save on that time, those efforts which they had put in, and then you're open to make new mistakes. Let's not repeat. And a mentor
Yes.
helps a lot. I mean, throughout since my intermediate while preparing for intermediate, I the coaching I studied at, the owner of that, he was a mentor throughout the preparation. After that, during articleship, I had seniors who were pursuing articleship, who were doing industrial trainees. Those they did help me a lot. And in fact, even today, when I'm applying for industrial training and I get any interview scheduled, I just call them up and trouble them that, oh, I have to do this, oh, I have to do that, what to do, what not to do. So because rather than randomly going there without any, with an ignorant mindset, it's better you know somebody there. You can get in touch with them through LinkedIn or friends. I think that will help you a lot because you have a background about what you have to do. You don't have to start from the square one. So be having a mentor, I think it's a blessing, and to have the right mentor also, it will be a Great
Yes,
then.
definitely. Thank you so much, Disha, for your perspective. Hearing you was genuinely enlightening and thought-provoking. So thank you so much.
It was
And now,
actually thanks to you. You gave me an opportunity to banter. It was great. Thank you so much.
welcome. And now, moving ahead to help us weave all these insights from Disha and Kushi together and reflect with clarity, we are honored to invite our mentor for the day, CA Taruna Vaishnav ma'am, to share her views on how to approach the articleship journey with purpose, awareness, and a growth mindset. Over to you, ma'am.
Am I audible, Tuva?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So, firstly, Dasha Kushi, it was great to hear your experience as well. And congratulations to every participant who have cleared this intermediate examination. So, as a concluding remarks, what I'll say is, as Kushi has also mentioned, asking question for yourself is a must because when you have to choose a domain, you should be clear about what excites you most. Is it law? Is it number? Is it client analysis? Because ultimately that only will give you clarity on what domain to be chosen, like it's audit or taxation, indirect taxations, or capital market, as Khushi has been saying. So point number one was clarity. Asking yourself question is must. Second, if you are choosing any domain or any firm, so don't go by crowd, have clarity first itself. See, if you have chosen one firm, say my ex-friend is working in that firm, and I also want to go to that firm, do some research about that team, that domain you want to join, because the team you will be joining, that helps you most. As Disha has also mentioned, it depends on team, what quality of work you will be getting. In some teams article just get that vouching and verification wala work, and in other teams they get to do some works with their seniors, with their clients as well. So it's very important to do that team research as well, the company research as well, when you will be joining the firms. So these two are the key takeaways you can think of while joining any articleship or something. And if I talk about my experience of how my articleship journey and then post qualification have been, so I had started with a very small size firm which has been just started like 1 or 2 months back. uh, I had joined in direct taxation department. So when I joined, I got to know that okay, if there is direct taxation and it was a firm just newly open, so I would be just doing income tax return filing of some of the firms or maybe individuals. So this is not something excites me. So I just took a decision for myself that no, I don't want to do this. I want to do the audit, and then I just within 6 to 7 months I have shifted to the audit domain, which was in TR Chadda and Company. That was a top mid-size firm then when I have joined. So I did my 1.5 years there in statutory audit, internal audit, concurrent audit. As you all will be aware, there are different types of audit as well. Majorly, people goes for stat audit because that is more fascinating nowadays. So people go for that. So I have done multiple audits and all of the area. Then I thought of joining industrial training, and my industrial training was in indirect taxation. So my 3 years of articleship was a very different. Like first 7 months was in direct taxation, then it was in audit, and then the industrial training was indirect taxation. So in 3 years, I did it all, like audit B, direct taxation B, indirect taxation B, and not being in a one firm as well. So now the articleship is of 2 years only. So this may not be applicable to you that you get shift to other firms as well, but make a decision with considering all the points in your mind, like the firm, the clientele the firm has got, because the client base is also very important on which type of client you will be working on. So because nowadays you can reach out to people on LinkedIn as well who are working in that firm which is of your area of interest, like which are the client for statutory audit, for example, which client base that company has got. So this LinkedIn has also will be very helpful to you. So yeah, these are the some key pointers which I wanted to share, and happy to have a Q&A if any one of you has anything.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We would like to know about the awareness our students must have for their articleship journey. Like what things they should consider before moving ahead in their articleship journey. Which mindset they should have.
Yeah. So as I mentioned in my first one, you should have clarity on what, because this you only will be telling yourself that what excites me most. Is it law? Is it audit? Is it taxation? Taxation may whether it is indirect or direct taxation. Because when you read that provisions and everything, then you get clarity that इस subject में मजा आ रहा है, and I can do practical things as well on the subjects. So having that clarity on yourself, that is must for choosing any domain, according to me.
As Khushi and Disha had the diverse perspective about the big fours as well as for the small firms. What do you think, ma'am? Like how a student should move forward to selecting their firm or anything?
See, Big Four, as Disha mentioned, Big Four will definitely give you an edge for be it an industrial training or post qualification if you want to join an industry. But in my case, I did not even got a rank, not was from a Big Four or nothing like that. Still, I was chosen for industrial training in different companies like Aditya Birla, Union Bank of Switzerland, HUL, and many companies have in which I was got selected. So that is not only criteria, but yes, that will definitely give you an edge over any other people who has done their articleship from Big Four. So don't have that mindset that if I'm not from the Big Four, I'll not get any good corporate job post qualification or will not get an industrial training thereafter. But you should have clarity of your area in your articleship, what you have worked on. That is very important when you appeared for interview. And when you are joining articleship, you will be having basic questions related to your law, audit, taxation. They won't be asking you any practical question as though. And when you are applying for articleship, that won't be coming in your way when you're applying for at that stage.
Ma'am, do you feel having a balanced exposure in every field is required or a necessity nowadays?
Yes, I can see because I myself have worked on every profile like audit, direct taxation, indirect taxation, because I wanted to have flavored of all, and then I can maybe decide like post qualification where I have to put my energy on. Because after post qualification, you cannot keep changing departments and domain thereafter. In your articleship, you have that privilege, you have that time, so you can explore different domains. Not after post qualification, you can, but in very rare situations, people do that. But in articleship period, if you get an opportunity, try different domains or work on like for 1 year, maybe in audit and 1 year taxation. You can do that balance.
Ma'am, do you feel like our articleship form defines the path we are going to choose in our CA journey as well? Like, is it important to choose a correct articleship form or just the growth and the kind of work we should learn?
No, I didn't get your question. Can you repeat?
Okay, sorry. Selecting the articleship form is important for the future CA journey as well. Like after clearing CA, what kind of thoughts are the
Okay, I'll
like
tell you.
employer thinks? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So while choosing the firm for articleship, like see, you should have a balanced exposure. Like अगर आपको कुछ सीखने ही नहीं मिल रहा उस फॉर्म में in which you are doing your articleship, because that will help you a lot your post qualification, right? And you will be able to apply your theoretical knowledge which you had from your intermediate or while you are having your classes for CA finals as well in practical itself, because post qualification that will be important. at this stage, when you are applying for articleship, you won't be getting any practical questions. But post that, people will be asking based on your knowledge. Like if you have done statutory audit, they'll be asking practical questions on statutory audit. How did you do that? What is the steps and everything? They'll be asking. So having that practical knowledge in your articleship is, I can say, mandatory, because that will help you to get post qualification into industry or maybe a CA firm where you want to be.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, do you have any special takeaways for the students to remember in their whole articleship journey as well as in their CA journeys as well?
Yeah. So my advice would be, clarity is more important than crowd. Don't go where friends are going. So be clear in your mind that where you want to be, what you want to do. So yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. I request all the attendees to, if you have any questions, to put up in the Q&A box. Meanwhile, I have a question for you, ma'am. Like, what was your most challenging moment during your articleship, and how do you deal with it?
So my most challenging moment was getting this okay for my industrial training, because my partner was not giving me that go ahead for doing that articleship. Because when you do the articleship, your principal thinks that they have curated you for this much, and now when you are able to do all that individually by yourself, and now you are moving for that industrial training wala part. So yeah, that was most challenging time I have been seen in my articleship.
Uh, like, what soft skills should an article assistant must have in their articleship journey?
So yeah, so I'll as Disha has mentioned on this point, I remember she has mentioned that you are very younger in your team. So be very friendly with your seniors, chit chat. So you will have that privilege that ठीक है अब कभी हर्ष, because you have class. They also do that. You have classes. You have to manage your studies as well. You have classes as well. So थोड़ा सा उनसे बना करके रखो. They'll also give you that privilege. ठीक है आज घर से कर लो, आज थोड़ा सा time जल्दी चले जाओ. So that what you can, that attitude or that personality you should have, that repo you should have with your seniors. Yeah.
Like, ma'am, one question: what resources like blogs, books, or mentors which helped you during your articleship journey?
So honestly, I didn't had any mentor. I came from a non-CA family background, so I had hustled it all myself from scratch. So starting from a mid-size firm, then jumping it to a top mid-size firm, then industrial training, and then corporate. So from start only, I was clear that I want to join this corporates and not want to go into any big fours, because I had question in my mind that big fours wale bahut kaam karwate hain, and I didn't want to compromise on my study at that time. So I didn't had that thought also that I should join in a big four or something. But that's not the case. It's depend on team to team where you joined in. But at that time, it was the thought on my mind, so I didn't join that. So yes, I hope I have answered your questions. Or
Yeah. One more question, ma'am.
Yeah.
How important do you think networking is during your articleship journey?
Yeah. So networking is very important, I would say. Like this Vikasa is organizing such events which help students also. Like last they have organized conferences, because students have to attend this conferences, webinars, seminars where they can do networking, because that will be useful post their qualifications, because you'll get to know how your friend, in which department your friends are working on, which type of clients they are working on, what work they are getting into, or which you can say domain. Because after post qualification there are not only audit, taxation and indirect taxation, you have multiple domains in which you can work on. There are FP&A, there are finance business partnering, there are supply chain, and there are many things in which you can work on. So networking will help you to get that flavored before you get into that particular domain. So yeah, that's most important, and everyone should like, if you'll just attend this type of webinars, seminars or the conferences as well, because office में तो क्या होगा, आपके साथ जो लोग काम कर रहे हैं, you'll network with that people only. How you'll network with people? आप client के पास जाओगे, the client which you are working on, आपके उनसे ही networking होगी. So networking आपकी होगी LinkedIn पे, the seminars में, webinars में, conferences में. So go attend. You will have friends from different department, different domain in which you can talk upon.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your thoughtful and practical reflections. I guess we are done with each and every question we got.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Your words genuinely added so much value to our today's conversation, giving us not only direction, but the motivation to make the most of our own journeys. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So as we are ahead of closing this session, thank you so much, Disha. Thank you so much, Khushi. It was a rich and meaningful session. To conclude, I now request Parth Kakkar, the VC of Vikasa WIRC, for vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Tuba. To begin, I am honored to deliver this official vote of thanks for this wonderful articleship domain guidance, and we have wonderful speaker as a student speaker, Khushi Gupta and Disha Gujrani. Thank you so much for coming and bearing your valuable time. We have with us our mentor, CA Taruna Vaishnav. Thank you so much for coming and for your valuable time. Now, to begin with our official vote of thanks, I would like to thank touch bearer of WIRC, CA Kitan Sayasar, chairman of the region WIRC. The office bearers of WIRC, we are equally thankful to them. CA Piyush Chandak, vice chairman of WIRC, secretary CA Jinal Savla ma'am, treasurer CA Dr. Fanil Shahji. Thank you so much for your constant support and encouragement for student initiatives. And lastly, the lighthouse of our Vikasa WIRC, chairman of Vikasa WIRC, CA Jitendra Saglani. Your belief in us motivates us to organize such more student-oriented events like this. And lastly, to all the students who attended this seminar, I hope that you have enjoyed the seminar and webinar, and it has added you some value. And thank you so much, all the esteemed speakers, for coming here. Thank you so much. This is Parth Thakkar, Vice Chairman of Vikasa, signing off with gratitude.
And with that, we come to the end of day 2 of SAMVAAD Gurukulam. Thank you so much, Parth. Thank you to everyone who joined us in this evening. We hope today's conversation left you with more clarity, confidence, and curiosity, all essential companions in your CA journey. Wishing you strength, success, and self-belief to continue forward. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.